Hello everyone, my name's Ishan Jolly, I'm a Twitch streamer and voice actor, and welcome to this video where I'm going over the best GOXLR settings and setup for the Rode NT1 microphone. So, let's get into this. Right, so first off, you go into mic setup, make sure it's set to condenser. I've set mine at around 30 decibels, but hey, depending on how close you are to the microphone or how far away you are from the microphone, it's gonna change. So just check this meter, and as long as it's somewhere in the middle, you're good to go. Right, so with a noise gate, I don't like the sound of a noise gate that you can like hear aggressively. Like when you can hear some background noise and it cuts in and out every time you speak. You can probably hear my my portable heater thingy right now when I speak, as I was saying, but that's right next to me. Anyways, I don't like the way it sounds when you can hear it cut in and cut out every time someone speaks when there's a lot of background noise. So I like a very subtle one at like 10%, which leads to a threshold of minus 53 decibels. I set my attenuation at 69, but because, you know, funny. But anywhere in between 50 and 75 is a good number. Too low, it doesn't really do too much, and too high, it's going to sound cut in, cut out, which isn't that good. Attack, you want to be as fast as possible, so mine's at 10 milliseconds, so as soon as you start speaking, you can hear it, it doesn't cut out the beginning of the words. And release, I keep it at 200 milliseconds, so it kind of trails off nice and naturally, instead of just cutting out straight away as soon as you stop speaking, because that can sound rather unnatural. Right, and these are the EQ settings that I came up with really quick, but thing is, with equalization, you can really mess around with it and get tons of different sounds. Like, you can go for a lot of different stuff. Like, if you want, like, this is a really good one that sounds very big, very bold, very epic, and you can make it even more epic. Cut out a bit more at 50 hertz, add in a lot more treble, and it'll probably sound very big, but this can also sound very harsh and annoying sometimes. So, like, it's very interesting how you can just mess around with stuff. Like, you can go with something super, like, sort of subtle with the equalization, where you, basically just do this. It just has a slight boost in the low end, slight cut in the lower mids, and then a slight boost in the upper air frequencies, and it just sounds nicer than it would completely flat, like how it sounds like this. There's a lot of different things you can do with equalization, and, yeah, there's a lot of different sounds you can get. Because if you want the neutral sound like this, just leave it flat. If you want a subtle sound, where it makes your voice sound a bit more broadcastery, but not over the top or unnatural, this is how you go with it. And then if you want something that's quite big sounding, then go with the settings I had at the beginning of the video. But you can really mess around. Basically, these two frequencies are good for the like thickness and warmth of the voice. These two frequencies you want to cut out a bit because too much of this makes it sound boxy and muddy, and cutting it out makes the voice and audio sound more open and clear. And then the high frequencies basically increase the clarity of the voice. So boosting this makes the voice sound clearer and more forward, but too much and it sounds harsh, especially on something like phone speakers. So like, yeah, you gotta be careful with that. But yeah, that's essentially what they do, and you can mess around with them to your heart's content. Right. Next up, we have the compressor, and honestly, the compressor on the GOXLR is so incredibly good. Like, it's also probably because this interface has a built-in analog limiter, so no matter how much you boost this stuff, it's never gonna clip. It can clip too much. It can clip if you're like over the top ridiculous with your settings, like you went to the mic setup and set it ridiculously high, or in the compressor you add in way too much mic gain. But there's a built-in limiter that basically makes it so the voice can't clip. And that's what makes it really amazing, because I've compared it to the Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Lewitt Connect 6, and this compressor beats the absolute everything out of those compressors. It's like the Rodecaster Pro 2 disappointed me so much. I was expecting it to be amazing, right? Everyone was like singing its praises, and yeah, it's good if you've got four microphones on a podcast or whatever. But for a single person, I don't think it's better than GOXLR at all. It was a huge disappointment for me, personally. Especially because you can't customize the software. Anyway, there's not a video about that. I might make one of those later. Anyway, here's my compression settings. So what compression does is basically, you take the threshold, anytime the volume goes above that, it divides that volume by the ratio, and then at the end, it boosts up the entire signal by the makeup gain. So it squishes down the loudest noises, and then it brings up the quietest noises. So the overall voice is very consistent. So you can yell, it'll still sound like yelling, or you can whisper, and both of them will still sound good and forward, and the entire voice will just sound loud and punchy and broadcastery and nice. That's basically what they do. And the attack is how quickly the compressor activates. So as soon as you start going above this threshold, this is how long it takes for it to be divided. And the release is how long it takes for it to go, I guess, back to normal or not compressing anymore after it goes below this threshold. That's basically what they do. So I set my attack to 2 milliseconds because it's nice and quick, but not too quick to the point where, like, if I make it too quick, it sounds a bit too crunchy. Like, I don't like the way this sounds, but it does control the volume very, very well. So if you're incredibly dynamic and you have a lot of energy and you go from whispering really quietly to shouting very loud, then, like, having a very quick compressor would be pretty good. I don't know if you could hear that whisper because the noise gate might have cut it out, but yeah. But I think 2 milliseconds sounds pretty good. And release, I like 100 milliseconds because that kind of just covers most words, right? If you set it too fast, then I feel like the compressor is going to activate and deactivate in the middle of words, and that doesn't sound too good, I don't think. But if you make it really quick, the release, it will sound loud, very loud. Like, if you do this, then the overall signal is going to sound very, very in your face. But I think it sounds better around this. But you can try, you can mess around, you can lower the release as much as you want or increase it as much as you want, and you can hear what they sound in difference. But I think this is a good setting, and that is how it goes. And a de-esser, I don't personally use a de-esser because I don't think my voice is very sibilant. But what a de-esser does is it takes the S sounds that sometimes can sound very loud and tame those frequencies down, bring the volume down. So say if you boost the treble a lot and it sounds too harsh, you can start boosting this up to like cut out the harsh S frequencies. I personally don't like it because whenever I'm using my headphones to monitor myself, which is every single time, I don't like the way it sounds because it suppresses the S sounds and it just sounds very unnatural in my headphones. So I don't like it personally, but if you like it, go for it and use it. Right, so there we go. Those have been the settings that I have set for the Rode NT1 on the TC Helicon GOXLR. I hope this video has helped you out and you find it informative and it can get you some great sound quality for your live streams. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I stream almost all the time at twitch.tv/JollyLegend. Right, thank you guys for watching. See you later and goodbye.